you find out you're pregnant. What do? You call him, you tell him we have to meet up, you text him. How did you tell him the news?
Well, so first, I don't tell him for a while because I'm so scared. I'm nervous. Well, I say a while, but I mean, it's just like a couple weeks. But I'm so nervous. And because, you hear all these conspiracy theories about how they feel about politics and how, they'll make these scandals just disappear or something like that. And then I felt like I'd become a scandal. And so I was so scared to tell him because I knew him as Hunt. So we all called him, but I talk in the book, I wasn't scared of Hunt. I was scared of Hunter Biden and his reaction, as who his dad is and taking all that into consideration because now I'm a scandal. So it was tough. I didn't tell him at first. And then I have complications, and I think it was just stress-induced complications early in the pregnancy. And I actually invite someone to my house to have a conversation. And he is someone that I had met through mutual friends. And he's actually, a friend of Obama. And
well-known person or no?
Well-known in that area, maybe.
Okay.
Locally.
Okay.
But probably not nationally. And, I tell him I need to talk to him about something. I need some advice. And he's like, okay, because I trusted him. And he said, okay, yeah, what, just come to the office. I was like, no, I need, I can't be at the office. I don't want, anything being reported. I didn't want to take that chance because you become paranoid. And so he came over to my house and was like, what's wrong? And I said, it was on his lunch break because he realized then that it was an emergency. And he's like, okay, send me your address. I'll be right there. And so he comes in, he's like, okay, what's wrong? And I said, and now mind you, he's an attorney. He actually went and studied at Harvard with Obama, knew the family, knew politics well. And so I said, I'm pregnant. And he just looked at me and he said, well, I assume I know who the father is. I said, yes. And he's like, well, at least it's not a Clinton.
Oh, wow, really?
That's really the first thing he said.
He said, well, at least it's not a Clinton. And he said the Bidens are known to, embrace their family, love their family. They're very family oriented. And he said it could be a good thing, and people at that time that knew Hunter, knew his addictions, like maybe it could bring him out of this dark place. But it didn't. So meaning, if it is a Clinton, your life may be on the line type of a deal. Yeah, he said it jokingly, but I mean... Well, there's only one Clinton you can get pregnant with. And Hillary nor Chelsea can't get it done, right? So, okay. So he's telling you this. Is he at all getting to a point where asking you whether you want to keep the baby, whether you want to abort the baby? That conversation is not at all being had. No, I had not had that conversation yet. I talked to him, this guy, this attorney, and then I also talked to, I call it our amoeba pack, and it was me and we had two other friends that we'd hang out with all the time with Hunter. I brought them around him a lot because I trusted them. And I talk about the friends that I would bring around him had to be people that I trusted because I didn't want them to go off and, tell everyone about what he's suffering from and this demon on his back. And so I tell my closest one, and of course she's just like, oh my God. It's just, how did this, well, we all know how it happened, but at the same time, it's just like. Science. Right. You got to trust the science, that's what she says. So, but why? Yeah. And so it was a very confusing time. She tells me, she says, I'll go with you. And I avoid him. I talk throughout the book, I avoid him, and he even contacts her and my other friends, what is going on? And so finally, I go see him, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell him. And I take my friend with me and as backup. She's like, okay, she's like, I'll make the move to go to the bathroom, and when I make that move, she's hung out with him. So is this the same girl from date one, or is it the same girl that you guys went? Okay. Yes. So she's safe. He feels safe around her. Okay, yes. Got it. And so we're all in there just talking and stuff, and he mentions what's been going on? What's this big thing. And she finds her cue, like, to go to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. She just, like, kind of looks at me. And I don't know if are you fans of, like, the Friends TV show at all?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so big
We're in
fan
our
of
40s,
that.
so, you know, we follow. I mean, he watched every episode. So
Me too, multiple times. Okay. I always say that when I tell him, it was a lot like when Rachel tells Ross that she's pregnant.
Okay.
And it's like that just look that.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, the what?
And he doesn't say anything, and I'm just like, and it's yours, by the way, like, if there's any question, but I'm just, like, going to let you process that. And he's like, honey, I know it's mine, like, and goes into this, I know it's mine. I want you to know, I respect whatever decision it is you make, and I'll be there spiritually, financially, mentally, whatever it is. He's like, have you thought about this? Have you, what do you want? And I told him, I was like, abortion would be something that would be off the table. Mm-hmm. And I said, the only reason I would ever consider it would be because of who you are. And that's not, I wouldn't be able to live with myself for that. Mm-hmm. And he was totally okay with it. What do I need to do? What can I do?
He's saying this to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, it seemed that night was great. And then, there were a few nights after, but it was, I start going and having these crazy amounts of ultrasounds done at Sneak a Peek because I'm like, it can't be real. Like,
you don't believe that this is really happening?
No, like the night that I took the tests, like the next day or that next week, whenever it opened, I'd go to have an ultrasound done. So I'm like, this can't be right. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no way God would put me in this situation. And I take my friend with me, my trusted friend, and she laughs to this day because, the woman does the ultrasound and she tells me, here's, shows me what's what and everything. And I'm like, are you sure? But are you sure? And she finally, like, she's offended. She's like, I've been doing this for 25 years.
It is.
You're pregnant.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But it didn't seem real. And it was really hard for me to accept, I felt like. And I did a lot of that before I even met with him.
So at this time, no weird friends being sent to have a conversation with you. You sure you want to do this? Life's going to be very difficult. Do you want the scrutiny? Do you want the pressure? Is anybody, not Hunter, is anybody else trying to influence you to make a different decision?
No.
Nobody?
No.
You thought about it. Where did you go? You just thought about it?
No. Like, I think about, me and my friend having that discussion. We have a discussion one night in the car.
Your friend?
Well, and his friend, the same one.
Okay.
From
the Barack Obama guy?
No, the mutual friend, the girl.
There's no...
the one from the first night.
The two of you?
Yeah,
it's
just the two of her.
Okay, got it.
The two of her.
Got it.
Two of us.
Yep.
And, we talk about it, and I kind of say the same thing that I said to him. Abortion would be off the table for me. And, like, the only way that even comes to mind is because of who you are. And that I can't. I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I did that. I couldn't do that.
Now, when you've made this decision and he knows, from the first moment you meet him to getting pregnant, that's 1 year. From the moment you're getting pregnant, you find out to telling him is 2 weeks. You meet with the Barack Obama friend from Harvard. He tells you the Bidens are better than the Clintons, which is what a weird thing to say, but great. So he seems like a gentle guy that he's not trying to persuade you to do otherwise. Then you and your friend have a meeting. Then you and your friend go and tell him. Then he says, I'll support you spiritually, financially, morally, in every way. Then you go do the ultrasound. You piss off the nurse. She kicks you out.
Well, I actually did the ultrasound, like, before I met with him.
Okay.
I did it, like,
reassure.
as soon as I found out, because I'm like, this can't be. And I've got all these tests laid out on the table that say positive, and I'm like, no.
Did anything with the relationship change gradually from you saying you're going to keep the baby? Was there still physical encounters, or did it kind of like he's no longer available, he no longer sees you as much, or nothing's changed
yet?
No,
we were still seeing each other.
Okay, got it.
You know, how the couple days, and then I might not see him for a few, and I'm texting him, and, one of the times I saw him, I think when the relationship changed is when, I told him, he was staying in Annapolis at the time. And I had told him that I would do a sneak a peek to hear the baby. It was like the first time to hear the baby's heartbeat. And he should be there, You said you wanted to support me, right?
And so I tell him, and then my friend also, hey, don't forget, because she had seen him, she had to go pick something up or something, and she seems like, hey, don't forget, it's like tomorrow, or it was the next day, or might have been that morning, I can't remember. And I showed up, and I listened to my baby's heartbeat, and he never showed, never got a call, nothing. And then it was like just days later, it was an apology, and I know I was wrong, and I'm just, in a bad place, and I'm so sorry, excuses.
And then did he continue seeing, or was a steady decline, or was it a sudden decline?
It was a steady decline at that moment, probably for just a little bit, and then it was nothing.
Done.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.